call to order this meeting of the Franklin Municipal Planning Commission for October the 27th, 2022. So we'll run through roll call. Commissioner Allen.
Present.
Commissioner Franks.
Present.
Commissioner Harrison.
Present.
Commissioner Lindsey's present. Commissioner Mann.
Here.
Commissioner McLemore.
Present.
Commissioner Orr.
Present.
Alderman Peterson.
Here.
And Commissioner Williamson.
Present.
All present and accounted for. So accommodations have been made to ensure that the public is able to participate in the meeting. The public may participate in the following ways: watch the meeting on Franklin TV or the City of Franklin website, watch the live stream through the City of Franklin Facebook and YouTube accounts, email comments to planningintake@franklintn.gov to be provided in full to the commission and included in the minutes, but not read aloud in their entirety during the meeting. Emailed comments are accepted until 12 noon on the day before the meeting. You may comment in person in the boardroom, and speakers will be asked to fill out a speaker card prior to the meeting starting. Speakers may sit in the boardroom or wait in the lobby. So the first item on our agenda tonight is the approval of our minutes. This is consideration of approval of the September the 22nd, 2022 Planning Commission meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Harrison and a second by Commissioner McLemore. Are there any comments or questions or corrections to the minutes? Okay, by roll call, Commissioner Allen.
Aye.
Commissioner Franks.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison. Commissioner Lindsey votes aye. Commissioner Mann.
Aye.
Commissioner McLemore.
Aye.
Commissioner Orr.
Aye.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
And Commissioner Williamson.
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously. The next part of our meeting is for citizen comments on items that are not on tonight's agenda. This is a time when the meeting is open for Franklin citizens to be heard on items that are not included in this agenda. As provided by law, the Franklin Municipal Planning Commission shall make no decisions or consideration of action of citizen comments except to refer the matter to the planning director for administrative consideration or to schedule the matter for Planning Commission consideration at a later date. So are there any citizen comments? Seeing none, we'll go to announcements. Staff? Amy?
Actually, I believe we've skipped an item. I don't know if it was on your roll call or not. Can we go back to item 2? Sorry about that. We didn't tee you up for that one. Sorry, Roger.
Okay. Okay, great. My little guide was out of order. Okay, so item 2 is a consideration of approval of the January 2023 through January 2024 Franklin Municipal Planning Commission calendar. So we've got a calendar set for this coming year. Is there a motion for approval of that calendar?
Move for approval.
We have a motion for approval by Commissioner Orr.
Second.
And a second by Commissioner Harrison. By roll call, Commissioner Allen.
Aye.
Commissioner Franks.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Lindsey votes aye. Commissioner Mann.
Aye.
Commissioner McLemore.
Aye.
Commissioner Orr.
Aye.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
And Commissioner Williamson. That motion passes unanimously. The calendar is approved. Okay, now do we want to do announcements? Okay.
Yes, now I can. I just have one. Just a reminder to the planning commissioners that we have training requirements each year. And for those who have not done that yet, staff can provide some links for some training if you'd like to do that online at your own time. But we'd like to know that you've completed that by the end of the year. Thank you very much.
Do we need to confirm one way or the other, or?
I believe we have records, but all but 2. So if you want to verify that you've done it, let me know, ask me, and if you know you haven't, I got some stuff that you can watch
Okay, and that's required before the end of the calendar year.
before the end of the calendar year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we had a workshop in April, and that counted. So those that attended that workshop or have watched that online already, that would satisfy.
That was a good workshop, too.
It was a great
It really
workshop,
was.
yep.
Okay. Okay, vote to place non-agenda items on the agenda. This is, again, a non-agenda process reserved for emergency instances. Non-agenda items are considered only upon unanimous approval of all of the Franklin Municipal Planning Commission members. Are there any items that any commissioner would like to place on the agenda for tonight? Seeing none, we will proceed on. Okay, the next item is for consideration of items on our consent agenda. These include items 4 through 22, and then items 28 through 31. Those will be the items on the consent agenda. As usually the case, is there any commissioner or staff member has the ability to pull an item from the agenda? Is there anyone that wishes to pull an item from the consent agenda tonight? Seeing none, let's consider a motion. Is there a motion for approval of the items on the consent agenda?
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Harrison, and a second by Commissioner Orr. Any discussion? There was no discussion on consent agenda items, so by roll call, Commissioner Allen,
Aye.
Commissioner Franks,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison, Commissioner Lindsay votes aye, Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner McLemore,
Aye.
Commissioner Orr,
Aye.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
and Commissioner Williamson. The motion passes unanimously. The consent agenda is approved. So that takes us to item number 23, consideration of Resolution 2022-66, a resolution amending the Carruthers Glen PUD subdivision to extend the vested rights for the property located at 4338 and 4340 South Carruthers Road. I'll turn it over to staff for presentation.
Yes, it's going to be me. Thank you, Mr. Chair. We've seen several vested rights extensions this year, so I'm not going to go into the details of vested rights, what it means, and the details of the criteria that you have to meet over 3 years and 5 years. If you have any questions after I'm done, I'd be happy to answer them. But this request is to extend the vesting period of this PUD subdivision for 2 years, or until December of 2024, to allow the applicant to secure any necessary permits and to begin site preparation. The history of this development plan is that it was approved in BOMA in 2019. It included 45 single-family lots, and it had no modifications of standards. BOMA approved the plans as recommended by Planning Commission, but it removed conditions of approval requiring that the lots less than 65 feet in width may not have homes with front-loaded garage, per Envision Franklin, and this request does not propose any changes. So that was a condition that BOMA removed. The status of the plan itself right now is that it's within its first 3-year period and investing. It currently has a site plan in one stop waiting final approval and stamps. In the applicant's request letter, the developer cited multiple attempts to obtain necessary sewer easements from the neighboring landowner of the Lockwood Glen subdivision, and working with staff to realign Carruthers Road due to an associated development not having a start date for their project as the reasons for delay in their progress. In terms of vesting impacts, if the vesting period is not extended, the project entitlements would cease to exist and stop work orders would be issued if applicable. A new development plan would have to be approved and would be reviewed against the current local development standards. In regard to those current local development standards, there would not be much change from the plan if they were to have to comply with the conditions of today. One of the only things that would need to be looked at was the house building type. It does restrict the amount of front facade that a house could take up, or I'm sorry, that the garage could take up on that front-facing facade. So their elevations may have to change slightly, but the overall plan would not change. So the Planning Commission and the Board of Mayor and Aldermen must decide if approving the vesting extension is in the best interest of the community. Should the request for vesting extension be denied, the applicant may continue to work towards meeting their first vesting milestone prior to their vesting expiring. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission recommend to the BOMA to approve Resolution 2022-66 if they determine that the continuation of vested rights is in the best interest of the community. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now's the time for public comment. If anyone from the public wishes to speak to this item, you can come to the lectern. Seeing no one. Okay, presentation by applicant. Is someone here representing the applicant for this item? I see no one, so, okay. So, so we're looking for a motion to recommend approval to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
We have a motion by Commissioner McLemore
Second.
and seconded by Commissioner Franks.
That's extending investing, correct?
Right.
To BOMA.
Recommend approval to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for extending the vesting. Right. Is there any discussion? By roll call, Commissioner Allen,
Aye.
Commissioner Franks.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Lindsay votes aye. Commissioner Mann.
Aye.
Commissioner McLemore.
Aye.
Commissioner Orr.
Aye.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
And Commissioner Williamson.
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously. Next item is item number 24, consideration of ordinance 2022-19, an ordinance to rezone 7.9 acres from Civic Institutional CI District to Residential 4, R4 District, for the property located south of Battle Avenue and west of Cannon Street at 1406 Cannon Street and at 319, 401, 403, and 405 Battle Avenue. Staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This rezoning request has been before the Planning Commission before. Staff's comments have not changed. The proposed rezoning for R4 meets the recommendations for the historic residential design concept as defined in Envision Franklin. The applicant did meet all their public notice requirements for this meeting. So staff recommends approval of ordinance 2022-19 to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay,
Chair.
yes.
Chair Lindsay, I would like to state public for the record that the Gamble Design Collaborative is working on a pro bono conceptual drawing, small drawing, for a small paver project at the church that I attend. I know, however, with certainty that this will not affect my ability to unbiasedly consider any items put forth before this commission that is put forth by the Gamble Design Collaborative.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so time for public comment. This is an opportunity for the public to speak to this item. If anyone would like to speak, please come to the lectern and give us your name and address, and we ask that you hold your comments to 2 minutes, please.
Good evening, Chair Lindsay, Commissioners, Alderman Peterson. Thank you for the time to speak tonight. I am Andy Clark. I live at 601 Janus Court in Franklin. I'm here as a citizen as well as a longtime supporter of Franklin Classical School. Franklin Classical School continues to be very interested in the FSSD Annex property. As you might recall, we have engaged Seth McDowell of Agilitas Property Development to secure a long-term location for our school. In fact, Seth submitted an offer proposal several months ago to FSSD, and it was not accepted because it was not inside the public marketing period. As I publicly stated in last month's meeting, we are requesting FSSD open the 30-day public marketing period and receive bids prior to rezoning of the property. Our singular goal is to have our offer considered prior to the property being rezoned and immediately demolished. Opening the public marketing period prior to rezoning has benefits to FSSD. It would allow those interested, including us, that are interested in using the property as is and currently zoned to submit an offer. It would also allow proposals from anyone else, those that are interested in rezoning and developing the property for their own use. The combined effect of the public marketing period would increase the number of interested buyers, thereby increasing the value of the property. Based on Dr. Esslinger's comments previously, we understand there are asbestos-containing materials in the building. However, that does not require the building to be demolished. We understand the building is being sold as is, and by choosing to open the public marketing period now, FSSD would avoid spending valuable time and money on abatement, demolition, and rezoning. In my experience, this is highly unusual for a landowner to go through all that expense without having a particular buyer in mind. That's my request, and I thank you for the time.
All right, thank you. Up, please. Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak to this item?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brian Hatcher. I'm the administrative principal of Franklin Classical School at 4H Church Street. I do live at 2533 Westerham Way in Thompson Station. I'd like to echo much of what Andy Clark has just shared with you and just acknowledge I get the privilege of leading our 238 students K through 12, 140 families, and representing them here tonight to make the same request. As a civic institution who has been leasing for 30 years, we look forward to our next 30 years in a permanent home and desire to see that and have that opportunity. In not opening the 30-day marketing period before rezoning eliminates us and any other civic institution who would have an opportunity to bid on that property at Cannon Street. So we make the same request. We not, as a school, we're not asking that you force them to sell us the building, but just give us the opportunity to present the best offer that we can to them within a time where it would be considered appropriately and legally. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Good to see you all again. My name is Jared Sullivan. I live at 419 Figures, right down the street from the property in question. The Battle Everbright Figures neighborhood strongly opposes the rezoning of this property. First, I thought that Franklin Special School District has hired Mr. Gamble to argue its case for rezoning the property, sends an undeniable message that the school district does not have the support of the community. As you recall, the school district only hired Mr. Gamble after it discovered that our community cares a great deal about 1406 Cannon, a property that was purchased with taxpayer dollars and has been a public space since at least 1868. But the school district doesn't know that we cared. The school district didn't know that we cared about the property because it never asked us. Franklin Special School District does not represent us. Mr. Gamble is a member of our community. Our community wants 1406 Cannon to remain zone civic no matter how it's used, private school, nursing home, cemetery, whatever. That's our preference as taxpayers. And Mr. Joey Bryan of the planning staff told me on a September 2nd call that 1406 Cannon can stay zoned for civic and be in accordance with Envision Franklin. In other words, the Planning Commission may rezone 1406 Cannon, but doesn't have to, in Mr. Bryan's professional opinion. Again, I'll reiterate that Franklin Special School District does not speak for us. To our community's tremendous offense, the school district likes to tell the Planning Commission in BOMA that it's acting in our interest by trying to rezone and sell 1406 Cannon. That's not true. We overwhelmingly oppose the rezoning effort, but Franklin School District wouldn't know. The school district voted to sell 1406 Cannon in the middle of the pandemic without notifying anyone in our community, either by mail or signs or the public notice in the newspaper. That's not transparency. That's not what good government does. You represent us, not the school district, and we urge you to act in the interest of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak from the vote?
Hey y'all, my name is Forrest Latta. I live at 504 Figures Drive. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you again. I'm here today to ask the Planning Commission to stand firm and stick with the original recommendation to vote against approval of the current rezoning request. You guys are making the right decision. It's correct under the law, it's correct on the facts, and it's correct in the public's interest. We are all tired of talking about this. I feel like we're all tired of talking about this. That being said, the repeated failures of the applicant to follow the procedures say a lot about the applicant's lack of respect for the process, the lack of respect for the Planning Commission, and the lack of respect for the community. This request cannot be approved because it does not meet the guidelines for rezoning set forth in Franklin zoning ordinances. It also would put the property in its current form and usage in direct conflict with those zoning ordinances. To be clear, we are not opposed to this property being rezoned, but we are strongly opposed to this request as it's being presented. This is a request that should be made by the buyer with a stated purpose. FSSD has not specified a reason for this request other than to protect the surrounding community. We all know that's not true. FSSD, under the direction of Dr. David Esslinger, seems to have been doing everything possible to limit community input and involvement, and at times has even been hostile to anyone who tries to question it. Rezoning is not a requirement for FSSD to publicly list this property for sale. In the time since FSSD's school board voted to sell this property, interest rates have arisen and property values have fallen. As public servants, they lost the sight their duty to the public to make sure that the sale is in the public interest and is also going to maximize value. In that same vein, rezoning this property may also limit the pool of potential buyers, putting additional downward pressure on the sales price. So the board actually has a duty to not
Can you go ahead and
rezone
wrap up
it.
your comments, please?
I've got two sentences
I think
left.
you've had 2 minutes,
Possible?
but go ahead.
No,
Very-
two
very
sentences,
quick,
if I could, if I
Certainly.
may. Again, why does this property need to be rezoned right now? My concern is that a potential buyer has been identified behind the scenes, and they think it would be easier for the school board to request the rezoning before they are publicly known. For example,
Okay,
we know
okay. You need
of
to wrap
rental
your
communities
comments
that
up.
have been popping up and pushing potential first-time home buyers out of the market, something that surely does not protect our community or match the character of the surrounding neighborhood. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Does anyone, no, please, please, okay? Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak to this item?
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing this time. I'm Curtis Sullivan. I live at 108 Battle Avenue. I just want to stand in opposition of this rezone from civic to residential. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Other comments from the public?
Good evening. My name is Stacy Vereen. I'm a concerned resident. I live at 409 Battle Avenue. Lived there for 10 years. I'm deeply concerned about this whole deal. It's, from what I've learned, it stinks. I don't like the way it's being handled. I'm also concerned about the potential for more flooding in the neighborhood. And 4 neighbors around me still to this day have flooding issues when there's significant rain events. And I'm concerned the density of residential that could possibly come in here and make that much worse. So thank you for letting me speak tonight.
Great, thank you.
Good evening. My name is John Boyd. I live at 501 Figures Drive. and I've been in the area for 18 years, even though I probably don't sound like that to you. I am also, more importantly, the proud parent of 2 children that have gone through FSSD system. It's an amazing system, amazing schools, and I'm so thankful that we have the privilege to attend these schools in our area. FSSD has always been really taking great initiative and being really creative with solutions, and has been an amazing place for my kids to grow up in. Because of their creativity and their amazing initiative at coming up with fresh ideas, you can imagine that I was quite mortified to find out that their solution for the property is just very run-of-the-mill and will cause detriment to the very public, as you're hearing from all of us tonight, that support the schools in the area. Why would you want to do something that causes detriment and pain and hurt to the very public that you are there to serve? I think that we have an amazing neighborhood full of creative business owners and entrepreneurs. Myself, I'm a business owner. I would like to petition not just the board here, but actually David Esslinger. I would like to say that if you have a problem raising money to build your new facility, come to the public that supports you, bring your problem, and we will help bring you a solution. Thank you.
Hey y'all, Nick Baskel White. Good seeing y'all again. It's been 4 months. I'm at 414 Figures. First, I'd like to thank you for what you do for our community. I've lived in a lot of places. Franklin's an amazing town. Traveled a lot with my time on active duty service. I'll start with a quote. At the end of the day, people won't remember what you said or did. They will remember how you made them feel. That's Maya Angelou. I stand against the rezoning of Civic to R4, especially with what's been said by the community. It not going to public market. FSSD does not speak for our community. They belittled and talked down to us, specifically Mr. Esslinger. It's really nice to be talked down to. I appreciate that from an individual that's holding such a position. Threats were made by school bus drivers against people in our community after FSSD went off half-cocked without providing proper notification, hence we're 4 months down the road. They also started mowing the lawn before 7 a.m. after all this transpired. And then finally, there was trash strewn about the parking lots outside the school buses where they're parking after all of this happened when they went off half-cocked. Signs were put up and then removed saying constituents can't enter the premises, so up and down. Not really sure what that was about. The community had to submit a FOIA request to see what's actually going on behind the scenes. This is Franklin, Tennessee, and not Washington, D.C., and I don't appreciate the pork barrel politics. The real-world effects, 40 tall and skinnies going up on this plot of land, is going to affect traffic patterns for our kids in our neighborhood. Flooding, as previously spoken, does not support Envision Franklin. My final point, from a quick Google search, there are 6 funeral homes within a 2-mile radius. One of them is for pets, even. If I had a nickel for every time that I heard they could put a funeral home in Civic from FSSD or the rezoning committee, I'd be a millionaire by now, and that would help a lot with what we got going on with inflation. I'll tell you that right now. I close with saying that our community is young and vibrant, keyword being young. We will be here for years and our children longer than us. This moment we remember not only in the next election, but for those years and generations to come, and frankly, our community doesn't support pork barrel politics. Thank you. I would also like to comment that the last time and all the other iterations we've done, other individuals presenting this project have been up here for 9 minutes, but yet you're going to talk to people in the community.
Thank you
to get
very
down.
much for your
Thank
comments.
you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
Hi, how y'all doing tonight?
Good.
My name is Joshua James, 317 Battle Avenue. With all due respect to Mr. Esslinger, you guys, all my neighbors, I'm here to support my neighbors going against the project proposal. And a lot of them couldn't be here tonight. It seems like there's a lot of us here, but a lot of them couldn't make it, so I'm here stepping in for them. And myself saying that I don't support the rezone. I think it's a fantastic idea to have it as another Christian school in the area. I think that would be so cool, especially for my kids growing up. I'm not stoked about having a dozen or 3 dozen or 4 dozen new houses behind our house. The flooding, all that stuff going on. A lot of people are really concerned about that. So thanks for hearing me tonight. God bless y'all.
All right,
Cheers.
thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Is there someone here representing the applicant?
Hello, my name is Greg Gamble, a landscape architect and land planner representing FSSD, and here tonight with representatives from FSSD, I got a little ahead of myself, as well as David Esslinger, who's with the school district. I have a brief presentation to give you that gives a bit more context about this rezoning request. I gave this presentation a couple of planning commissions ago, but if you don't mind me reviewing that again, I think it may be beneficial.
Okay. Please
I'll be
proceed.
brief.
Yep.
Thanks, Joey.
Momentary technical issues, so just give me 1 second.
No problem. While he's pulling it up, I'll go ahead and start. Envision Franklin identifies this property with a policy of historic residential. And directly from the context of the policy, it states that infill development should maintain the established traditional residential character and reflect the scale and surrounding neighborhood. Context sensitivity is a key component, including compatibility of building form, lot widths, and setbacks. That statement and that purview of policy statement in Envision Franklin does not just apply to rezonings, it applies to preliminary plats, and it applies to your review as planning commission of the site plan. So you're looking for compatibility of building form, lot width, and setbacks, not just tonight, but with any future plan submittal that comes back to you. This rezoning request, if you could go to the next slide, shows you, this slide, the contextual relationship of the R4 district if this property is rezoned to R4. Again, R4 is a very, very unique district in our zoning ordinance. It is set up with the intended purpose of preserving the established and historic residential neighborhood. It is a contextual base zone. If you could skip ahead 2 for me. This is the text from the zoning ordinance as it relates to the R4 district. It oversees lot size, lot width, setbacks, height, landscape surface ratio, and you can see under each one of these categories that lot size, even though there is a minimum of 6,500 square feet, that those lots must be 75% of the average lot size of its adjacent neighbors. So the zoning ordinance, as it relates to lot size and even building height, where it says that building height shall not exceed 1.5 stories above the average height of its adjacent neighbors, that there are context requirements written into the zoning code. This is not like an R2 district. This is not like an R3 district where there's a prescription that's written for a specific lot size within those districts. The R4 district is unique. It's about compatibility. It's about its relationship to the lots that are around it and the neighbors. If you'll look here on the next slide, this shows you an example of contextual densities. This property that we're requesting rezoning on is 7.9 acres. We did a couple of area right here within a relationship to this property, looking at how many lots would show up on 7.9 acres or 8.1 acres, and you can see the numbers around 21 to 26 lots total. That's probably about what we're talking about today. However, one of the things that's not incorporated on this site is stormwater management. We have new stormwater regulations. When this site is being proposed for development, stormwater management has to be incorporated on this property. All stormwater management must be in an open space lot. There is open space requirements associated with any future development of this property on 7.9 acres. So we can say that we feel comfortable that the lots would probably be within this density of 21 to 26, but at the same time, when you start applying the requirements for open space, for stormwater management on this property, which do not exist today, the stormwater management does not exist today on this property, that you can see there would be additional effects on the number of homes that would be on this property. If you'll skip ahead 2 slides for me. There have been some concerns from the community about the loss of open space, and FSSD would like for me to point out that directly adjacent to the Franklin Elementary School campus, there is 5.24 acres of land that's currently recreation area. This area is available after school until dusk. It's available on the weekends. It's available during the summer. The only time it's not available is when school is in session and children are there. This is open space that is a part of the Franklin campus and is available for residents to use. Also to point out in the top right corner of this slide is the county's new Academy Park campus, which is approximately 2.8 acres in size and also available to all of City of Franklin as well as county residents. On the next slide, we're showing what the FSSD school has already put into place, which is a traffic control system for drop-off and pickups. It allows much better management of traffic flow in this area. The Franklin Special School District Board has voted to sell this property. They believe that this rezoning to the R4 district is in keeping with Envision Franklin. It's in keeping with the context of the adjacent zonings, which is also R4. And is keeping in with their goals as a board and their missions as a school as well. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have, and David is here to answer questions specifically about school if you have questions about those. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. Is there a motion on this item?
Move for approval.
Second that. We have a motion for approval made by Commissioner Orr and a second by Commissioner Franks. Is there any discussion?
A call for the vote.
You have a motion to call for the vote. Is there a second for that motion?
Second.
Okay, so there's a motion to end debate, essentially, is what the call for the vote is. So any discussion on the vote, on the motion to end debate? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll go to a vote then. By roll call, this is on a motion for approval. Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Recommend approval to the Board of Mayor and
Recommend.
Alderman, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Has to be.
Thank you, Alderman Peterson. Recommend approval to BOMA. Okay, so Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Franks?
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison?
Aye.
Commissioner Lindsay votes aye. Commissioner Mann?
Aye.
Commissioner McLemore?
Aye.
Commissioner Orr?
Aye.
Alderman Peterson?
No.
And Commissioner Williamson?
No.
Commissioner Williamson, that was a no? Okay. Motion carries. Okay, item number 25 is consideration of ordinance 2022-38, an ordinance to rezone 7 acres from agricultural AG district to residential 2, R2 district, for the property located east of Hillsborough Road and north and south of Poteet Place. Staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The applicant is requesting to rezone the property from agricultural to residential 2 or R2 zoning. The subject property consists of 7 acres. Envision Franklin places the property in the single-family design concept. The proposed rezoning of R2 is supported by Envision Franklin. The R2 district requires a minimum lot size for new lots to be 15,000 square feet with a minimum lot width of 75 feet. All new single-family homes must be also front onto a public street. The adjacent subdivision of Monticello is zoned R2, so the request is also consistent with surrounding zoning. Staff recommends approval of ordinance 2022-38 to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak to this item?
Good evening. My name is David Lawbaugh. I live at 206 Revere Lane in the Monticello neighborhood in Franklin. I'm the co-president of the Monticello Homeowners Association. I have a couple things I'd like to discuss tonight. First of all, I'm seeking clarification regarding our entrance sign. As far as I can tell, the land to be developed includes the land where our northern sign sits. I'm wondering if the land under and around our sign is part of the area which will be developed. If so, what is Poteet Place Ventures' intention regarding our sign? We have an easement for this property regarding the land for our sign. The Monticello the residents of Monticello have also paid contributions for the building of this sign. I have copies of both of these agreements. May I pass them out to you?
Sure.
Thank you. I have reached out to both Greg Gamble and Kevin Estes regarding this. Mr. Gamble said he'd look into it, hasn't got back to me so far. Mr. Estes so far has ignored my attempts at discussion. Whether this sign stays in place or if it is torn down, it will have an impact on the homeowners of Monticello. I'd also like some clarification regarding the appearance of the single-family homes to be built. I'm wondering if they will be made to appear consistent with the looks of the homes in Monticello. Specifically, will they have brick veneers and be the same general size and shapes as the homes in Monticello, since these factors will have an impact on the value of our homes. Since Poteet Place Ventures has not responded to us with discussion or information regarding these things, I wanted to bring it up now before the commission gives its approval. Thank you for your time and for all you do for our neighborhoods and our
Great.
community.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public wish to speak to this item? Seeing none, is there a presentation by the applicant?
Good evening, Matt Huff with Gamble Design Collaborative. I don't have a presentation prepared, but I do want to apologize to Mr. Lawbaugh. I understand the concern and the urgency with your request, and we'll make sure to facilitate that moving forward. With that said, I'm happy to answer any questions you all have.
Okay. Is there a motion on this item?
Could we ask a question first?
Go ahead, Ann, please.
I noticed on, not this map, but the other map that was showing, there's a lot of floodplain on this. So how much of these two pieces is actually outside the floodplain?
I'd say probably around 60% is outside, 50 to 60% outside. We don't have a,
Wait a minute.
The green on the map is the area outside the floodplain. So hatched, but in green.
Okay.
Hatched, but in blue is floodplain.
Well, let me tell you, if you look back at their, at the, not that map, but the one that comes with this, it shows more of the floodplain than I see on that map. Let's see if this would be,
Which one?
do you see, Joey, do you see what I'm talking about? I mean, thank you. Well, some of it's just the,
Which one is it? Yeah. Oh, the whole, oh, yeah, flood raising, yeah. Yeah.
Is this what you're referring to, Alderman
yes,
Peterson?
it is, So, what is it? What is that? They show looked to me like the 100-year floodplain is coming across the top piece, and then it covers more than,
Perhaps you can help me with this analysis, but are the maps what is the most accurate data that we have from FEMA, but we have not yet adopted, perhaps?
I believe that it's the 500? The dark line? Yeah, it may be. I'm not sure. Now, I'm, that may be mislabeled. It's close. So we don't have a plan obviously shown here, but the idea is I believe only one of the potential lots would be overlapping what's the existing 100-year floodplain at the back corner of it would be. I think the intent would be to do some minor adjustments. We're talking less than 10% of the floodplain that's on the site in order to facilitate that lot. Everything else, I believe, will be outside of the floodplain.
I mean, it just doesn't look like it on this.
We'll have to, I understand that it's hard to explain without the plan in front of you. And we don't have, a plan to be approved with the rezoning. But we will come forth with a preliminary plat, and at that point, you'll be able to see it. And also, with the preliminary plat, our hope is that we can solve the issue that Mr. Lawball brought up.
And just for clarification, the map seen here on the projector now is made by staff, so that's our mapping
Oh, okay.
system. So that's the floodplain as it is today, as it is.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have anything to offer relative to other questions raised by the HOA, relative to appearance of houses, compatibility with neighborhoods and things?
We fully intend to be, not only lot sizes to be compatible with the Monticello neighborhood, but also the character of the homes, and we don't want this to be, the homes to be, a lot larger or a lot different materials. We want it to fit in, and that's the intent.
Okay.
So how many units can you put on this? How big are these two pieces of property?
We don't have so it's 7 acres total. We don't have a plan just yet, but likely between 6 and 8 lots, maybe 10. 6 to 10 lots, I guess, is maybe safer to say. The minimum lot size being 15,000 square feet.
Okay. Anybody, any other questions for the applicant? Is there a motion on this item?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And we're talking recommendation of approval to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen.
Right.
Yes.
So we have a motion to recommend approval to BOMA by Commissioner Franks, and that was a second by Commissioner Harrison? Okay. Any further discussion? By roll call, Commissioner Allen,
Aye.
Commissioner Franks.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison,
Aye.
Commissioner Lindsay votes aye, Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner McLemore,
Aye.
Commissioner Orr,
Aye.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
and Commissioner Williamson. Aye. That motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item number 26, consideration of ordinance 2022-34, an ordinance to rezone 301.89 acres from planned PD district to planned PD 54,982 district for the property located east of Franklin Road and north of Legends Club Lane, located at 1500 Legends Club Lane, the Aspen Grove PUD subdivision, Section A. Staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This rezoning request is to accommodate the proposed alterations to the Aspen Grove PUD subdivision, Section A, also known as the Vanderbilt Legends Golf Course or Golf Club, and also establishes entitlements for the property, 54,982 square feet of commercial recreation space. Envision Franklin places the property in the recreation design concept, which is supportive of the zoning district and the proposed entitlements. Staff recommends approval of ordinance 2022-34 to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak to this item? Seeing none, is there someone here representing the applicant? Please come forward.
Good evening, Chairman Lindsay, Alderman Peterson, and Commissioners. Joshua Denton here on behalf of the applicant. We were before you all with a joint work session just last month, and again, this is just dealing with the expansion of the main level and the second floor of the Vanderbilt Legends Club members clubhouse, and then the expansion of the team's facility. So we're happy to answer any questions, but as we've set forth before, there's really no change other than hopefully making the existing course and facilities even better for Franklin. So as noted, the square footage, the 54,982 would address the existing accessory structures and the expansion of the main level and the second floor, as well as of the members clubhouse, as well as the team's facility. And it would not include the non-gross floor areas that are tied to the project. So as you know, there's a lower level golf cart storage area, parking area that wouldn't be included, and then some accessory structures that are existing. So glad we've got the whole team here and glad to answer any questions you all may have.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion on this item?
I move to recommend approval to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen.
We have a motion from Commissioner Allen
I'll second.
recommending approval to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, and a second, proper second by Commissioner Harrison. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, by roll call, Commissioner Allen,
Aye.
Commissioner Franks,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison,
Aye.
Commissioner Lindsay votes aye, Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner McLemore,
Aye.
Commissioner Orr,
Aye.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
and Commissioner Williamson.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously. Okay. Item 27, the consideration of Resolution 2022-60, a resolution approving a revised development plan for Aspen Grove PUD subdivision, Section A, with one modification of standards, that being for building elements, for the property located east of Franklin Road and north of Legends Club Lane, located at 1500 Legends Club Lane. Staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This revision to the Aspen Grove PUD subdivision, Section A, is to add additions to the existing main clubhouse for the course or for the club, as well as additional space for the training center that's there on the property. Everything that's being proposed is in accordance with Envision Franklin. There is one MOS request to allow pitched or gable roof form for commercial buildings. Commercial buildings, as defined in our ordinance, are required to have parapet or more of a flat roof appearance. But staff is supporting the MOS request because everything built on the property already has gable pitch roofs. So in order to maintain that architectural consistency and design for the development, staff is recommending approval or supports MOS number 1 for the pitched roofs. Staff recommends approval with conditions of Resolution 2022-60 to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Joey. Okay, well, so we'll do this in a typical format for a motion with modification of standards. We'll start with a main motion, a motion for this. Wait a minute. Is there anyone from the public wish to speak to this item? Seeing none, does the applicant have any further comments to make on, touch on the MOS?
Yeah, we covered that at the work session. Glad to
Okay.
answer any questions, just keeping it consistent with the existing form.
Right.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, is there a motion for this item, a main motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion for approval, recommend approval to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen by Commissioner Franks, and as a second by Commissioner McLemore. So we will jump to a motion for modification of standards number 1. The applicant is requesting to allow a pitched or gable or roof form for the proposed building addition. We don't have additional presentation on that item. Is there a motion for approval of modification of standards number 1?
Move for approval.
We have a motion for approval by Commissioner Harrison. And a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Williamson. Is there any discussion on modification of standards number 1? Seeing none by roll call, Commissioner Allen.
Aye.
Commissioner Franks.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Lindsey votes aye. Commissioner Mann.
Aye.
Commissioner McLemore.
Aye.
Commissioner Orr.
Aye.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
And Commissioner Williamson. That motion carries. Modification of standards number 1 is approved. We go back to the main motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none by roll call vote. Commissioner Allen.
Aye.
Commissioner Franks.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Lindsey votes aye. Commissioner Mann.
Aye.
Commissioner McLemore.
Aye.
Commissioner Orr.
Aye.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
And Commissioner Williamson.
Aye.
That motion carries unanimously. Great, thanks a lot. Okay, are there any other non-agenda items?
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to Commissioner Allen.
There you go. Sweet 16, huh?
Yes.
There you go. Any other business? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Orr to adjourn, and seconded by Commissioner Allen. By roll call, Commissioner Allen.
Aye.
Commissioner Franks.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Lindsey votes aye. Commissioner Mann.
Aye.
Commissioner McLemore.
Aye.
Commissioner Orr.
Aye.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
And Commissioner Williamson. We are adjourned.